and welcome. You're tuning in to Unbreakable Hope with me, your host, Jessica Rose. This podcast is all about seeking the light. In each episode, we chat with someone who has either overcome the darkness or who is actively spreading light within their own community. So let's jump into today's episode. Today's special guest is the Miss Queen of the World USA for 2025. Athena is an angel, and I say that with a pun intended. She started Athena's Angels, and the work that she does is so beautiful. I love getting to hear a little bit of her story, the beautiful connection she has with her platform and what she does in her community. So let's jump into today's episode and learn more about Athena and Athena's Angels. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm really excited to get to know you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm going to pass it over to you, let you introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, guys. My name is Athena Stratis, and I am your 2025 Miss USA Queen of the World. I was recently crowned in January, and I represented Rhode Island, the ocean state. A little bit about me is I am a huge lover of the ocean and the beach. I could spend all my days there every day. It's so relaxing and gives me a sense of freedom. It's something that people who don't live near the ocean, I feel like, don't get to experience as much. So for me, I kind of take advantage of it, and whenever I can go, I go. So I love that.
I am a huge lover of the beach too. I used to live near it. I lived in California. I was stationed out there for about 4 years. So I love it. I miss it. I have never been to Rhode Island. So that would be a fun trip to be able to go out there and see it and especially enjoy that beautiful beach time. I'm sure it just fills your soul anytime you're there.
It is, and the seafood is absolutely amazing. Amazing, amazing.
I'd love to hear, how did you find out about Queen of the Worlds? What was your involvement like in getting started?
So I actually found out about Queen of the World through one of my former sister queens, Lynn. We competed in petite together, and I was the teen, and she was the MS. And she ended up signing for the Queen of the World pageant, and I was thinking about doing another pageant, and she ended up coming across Queen of the World to me, and it was something that I'd done my research on and I looked into, and I thought that it would be an amazing fit for me. And I was able to talk with the director, Alice, who is absolutely amazing. She's such a sweetheart. She's so compassionate and cares about her queens, and not just the queens who win, all of the contestants in a whole. So that's something that I really, really, really enjoyed about her and about the pageant system. It was something that made it more of a surreal experience for me. And could tell that she really put all her effort into making sure that it went as smooth as possible for everybody and that nobody felt uncomfortable.
That's really amazing. It's great to find a place where you feel valued, where you feel respected and loved. And I think that's so cool that you made a connection. That's one thing about pageants that I competed for the first time ever last year, and meeting other women who are just doing amazing things and so lovely. That networking piece of it, I think, is so awesome. So it's great that you had this relationship and bond with somebody that said, "Hey, you're doing this great thing. Look at this other system that's also great, and I hope it's a good fit for you." And you said, "Hey, this does look great, and now look at where you're at." That's so exciting.
Yeah, it was such a life-changing experience for me too, because it made me have to step up who I was because I came from the teen division and going into the Miss division, it was a huge, huge, huge changer for me because the maturity level is a lot different. So when I went into my interview, I had to prepare myself to not be as bubbly as a teen would be, but still be very mature.
That's a really good point because that is a change. What was the age difference in the systems? I forget what petite's age that teens age out at. And then for the Queen of the Worlds, what does that age range look like?
So for petite, they went up to 18 for their teens, and Queen of the World, as well as petite, they both start at 19 for the Miss division.
So you just turned 19, so you're like right there at the bottom of the age.
Yes.
And now the newly crowned queen, I bet that is just such a really amazing feeling to have come so far so quickly. What did that look like as far as timeline wise? Like how quick was this for you to turn around from one pageant and then go into another pageant?
So it was actually really, really quick for me. I didn't have much prep time at all. I want to say around 5-ish months, maybe, if that. But I was able to work with my amazing coach, Deborah Missy Scott. She is absolutely amazing. She dedicates her time to make sure that you yourself find what works for you and not necessarily something that's like a universal template. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't use everything the same for every girl. Like, she figures out what works for you and she tackles how it can make you encourage yourself to be better and realize that you can do it.
That's amazing. I think that's really important qualities in a coach. I think that a lot of people, there is kind of this standard and structure, but there's always an exception. So going into it saying, "Hey, I have like 5 months or less, and I want to accomplish this big thing," and having somebody who says, "I'm there, I'm with you, let's make this work, and let's work what's best for you." How was it with your platform? So you kind of have this twofold platform. Did it change from system to system? Did you feel like you got more clarity or maybe more push forward with your coach and then going into the new system?
Yeah, so my platform stayed the same. I wanted to stick to my platform, which is Athena's Angels, and I'll get into that a little bit more after. But basically, I worked with my coach, and she helped me come up with generally how I could take my platform a step further, how I could make it more visually appealing. We worked quite a bit to figure out what worked for me because I'm kind of a little bit picky sometimes. So I'm like, I don't really like that. But she worked with me amazingly, and I couldn't have asked for a better coach. She made the experience awesome and made me open my eyes to where I wanted to take my platform and how I wanted to do that.
That's amazing. I feel the same way about my lovely coach. My coach really helped take in the multiple hats that I wear and really brought it together. And I didn't even have a name. I'm not sure if it was the same for you with Athena's Angels. Like, that's so beautiful. And I can't wait for you to tell us more about it. With mine, we came up with "Don't ever let anyone steal your hope," because it really just encompasses all the work I've done in suicide and overdose prevention and all the stuff I do with my husband who has brain cancer. So I know the personal feeling of how amazing that is when it all kind of comes together and you're like, yes, this is it. This
Yeah.
feels good and this feels like me. So, what is Athena's Angels?
So Theta's Angels, like I said, is my platform, and it is generated from my grandfather who passed away a few years ago. He was someone who was known for all his generosity, his kindness, and his care, and everything he did for the community and how much he gave back. And I wanted to continue his legacy, and I figured in what better way to put it out there than taking it up a notch and stepping it up through pageantry.
That's so heartwarming that it's part of your family, it's in your DNA, it's in your blood, and you just wanted to continue this love that your grandfather poured into the community. What are some of your favorite activities that you do within the community when you're giving back?
There are two parts to Athena's Angels. There is the inner part and the outer, because I believe that you cannot take care of others if you don't take care of yourself first. You are your biggest, 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 biggest thing that you need to take care of. Because if you don't take care of yourself, then you're not able to help others. They're not going to be able to figure out how to help themselves. So I really try to push it out there to make it about the two sides of the inner and the outer. So on Tuesdays, I have Double Take Tuesday where I post something about taking care of yourself and how it's able to help others. And generally, it gives them challenges that they can do or tips throughout the day or throughout their month. They can give themselves challenges and different goals to reach. So that's a part of the inner. The outer part is Operation Fantastic, and that is something that my coach helped me come up with. The name, when she had mentioned it to me, just gave me the biggest aha moment. I was like, that name is absolutely perfect because my grandfather actually had the nickname Mr. Fantastic. So that was something that really, really, really like warmed my heart and touched me because I figured that's incorporating him into it, and that's what my platform is all about. So the community gave him the nickname Mr. Fantastic, and I figured that's the perfect name for it. So Operation Fantastic bridges the gap between the younger generation and the older generation. So I have children in elementary schools. I go in and I explain to them a little bit about Athena's angels and kindness and about what it can do and how they need to take care of themselves, like I said, before they can take care of others. And I've always said to myself, give yourself permission to try, fail, and grow. And that's always been something that was really powerful because once you do that, then you're unstoppable. So that's something that was really important for me to incorporate in my platform and try to reach out to the kids when I'm in the schools because they're young and I feel like it starts when you're younger. When you get older, if you don't learn those things when you're younger, they lead to, self doubt. And I just feel like when kids learn that young on, then they're more aware of how to take care of things when they're older and how to go about situations. And generally, the kids end up creating kindness cards, which are just cards that say something nice, sweet, like a daily affirmation, something encouraging for the elderly. And then usually when I'm there, I also get to go around with my Miss Rhode Island sash that I used, and they get to put it on and they light up, and it's just so heartwarming to see. And so once they do those cards, I end up taking them batched. Sometimes I divide them up because sometimes there's around like 50 or 60 cards that I get. So I'll divide it up, but sometimes I'll do them all together. Like the last one, I did them all together because they were all Valentine's themed cards. And I delivered them to the elderly home and I got to go around to the different rooms. It was something that was eye opening to me because not a lot of them get any visitors. So for them, those cards just made them feel so special and like they really mattered.
I I love all of this that you're saying. It kind of it touches home for me personally too as a caregiver. Like you said, if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't take care of others. And there's so many different analogies. I think one that's become extremely overused to the point where people are eye rolling is, on the airplane, you got to put your oxygen mask on first. But I think they eye roll because they can't really relate to that so much. But you think you can't pour from an empty cup. Okay, sure. But you know what it feels like when you're all dried up. Same
Yeah.
like that cup when the cup is just broken and shattered and you're trying to super glue it back together and you're missing pieces. And it's those things that we forget. And when we spiral down, and it's like, wow, I didn't take care of myself at all. So I love that you're going into schools and you're having these conversations with the youth. I've had some other guests on my show who are foster parents or volunteer in the foster care system. Also, a few of us who are step parents, and the importance of being able to connect with our youth because the dynamics have changed so much. We still need a community. We still need a village to raise a child. So you're this beautiful angel coming into these schools and saying, hey, let me teach you about self-care and taking care of yourself, take care of others, while also this beautiful act of kindness, like, hey, they can make cards and you can take and pass them on because you're 100% right. I've been in these facilities My husband and I were in the hospital for 5 months. It was actually officially 2 years ago. Well, it was in 2023, but I stayed with him. He's nonverbal, and there was only one time I ever had him in a facility when I had to leave to go to work, and I was out of town for a week. And when I took him there, it was a short stay. Like it's just for the week. I'm just going out of town. We're trying to see how this care works for overnight. And none of them could believe that I actually had him at home. And they all thought I was going to leave him there and never come back. And it just broke my heart for all these people that there's no one there for them. And a lot of times that is the only option if they don't have care or they have a higher level of need. And when people get older and then their spouse is older and they can't take care of whatever their needs are. So I'm so inspired by what you're doing. You're able to reach both generations, and you're also teaching these younger generations to love and be kind and respect and look out for the older generations, right? Because I think that's a huge part of it. Just like it takes that village and community to raise a kid, it takes that village and community to take care of us when we get older and we start to have ailments as well. So that's so
Right.
beautiful. Thank you so much for pouring into your community like that.
Yeah, it's something that I really like doing. I like giving back to my community. I actually was a recipient of the Gold Presidential Service Award, and I had a lot of hours. Most of my hours were actually through a adult daycare, which I volunteer at during the week, and it's something that brings me a lot of joy because when I walk in, a lot of them are like, "Hey!" And they're just so excited to see me, and it gives them something to look forward to, which brings me a lot of joy.
And it's definitely places like that are such a relief at times. I know a friend of mine, that's he was a caretaker for his father, and that's what he utilized is he would take his dad to a day center so someone else could look after him and he could interact and socialize with other people so that my friend could have some time to take care of himself. So that's another area where a lot of people just kind of go forgotten, or they don't think about that that's a place they can volunteer. That's a place that they can serve. So that's really cool that you did that. And congratulations on getting
Thank you.
old. That's quite the accomplishment. And it's something that I think is just it's so exciting, and bravo because
Thank you.
it's not easy. Like volunteering is also it's sometimes it's a lot of fun, but it's also not easy having to track
Yeah.
all these hours and submit all these hours either. That is work as well.
It sure is. But it definitely is all worth it in the end because you know that you're changing the lives of others. And that just, that right there is just making me know that I'm doing something right.
Yeah, that's a really great feeling, and that's probably why you have the line that you've said that empowered and empowering.
Yes. Yes. I'm very, very, very strong with that one because I feel that you need to empower yourself and then empower others. Like I said, you can't pour into the cup of others if you don't pour into your own cup first.
And I love that how you said that too is it's you need to empower yourself and then go on to empower others, right? Is it's yes, take care of yourself and also still take care of others because I think a lot of the times it's almost like an extreme. It's one or the other.
Hmm.
There is a way to be able to do both and integrate
Yes.
both things and find causes or ways that you can volunteer and support things that are near and dear to your heart because we all have those things, right? We all have those special things that really mean something to us and they look different. But if we take care of ourselves, we can still take care of other people and help support our communities. So you're an amazing advocate within your community and you're doing all this awesome work. And I'm sure through this and through pageantry, everyone always talks about this growth within themselves. So what did that look like for you with really your journey and growing yourself, and what has that done for you and others?
Yeah, so me myself, when I was growing up, I had to learn how to embrace individuality, and I didn't have a lot of help from others around me. I didn't have many friends to rely on because a lot of the people I feel weren't your real friends. They were just kind of fake to you. They were just there for the moment. And they didn't really care. And I didn't want to have friends like that. I wanted people who were genuine to me and who really cared about me. So I ate lunch with my school counselor for a couple years, and I ended up connecting with a few people in there, and we kind of related to each other. So it was something that I really, really embraced because I didn't think that there were any other people who went through what I was going through. And when I did meet them, it was kind of like I had my group and I found my people. And it was something that made me, realize myself that it's okay to not fit into the social norms that is going on in this generation because most of them aren't that positive. So it's okay to be yourself and be who you are. You need to embrace your authentic self for others to really accept who you are and to appreciate you.
I think that is such an important message in any generation, any timeline. I myself growing up, similar, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I used to joke I was born to stand out, right? That's why I don't have any friends.
I
I'm
love that.
just meant to be on my own. And I actually had kind of a small group of friends, and one of them had once said, like, I think you try too hard not to fit in. And I thought, well, that was really odd. Like I've never had that thought before.
Yeah,
But I do remember like when Furbies were really cool, I was like, oh, they're cool. I'm not going to be a fan of Furbies. Or when Harry Potter came out, yeah, well, everybody's reading Harry Potter, so I'm not going to read Harry Potter because it was kind of that thing like, well, because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's good. But,
right.
I eventually got into Harry Potter. I'm a big fan, so just saving myself from that criticism, but never really gotten into Furby still. But I think that that's something that a lot of the times that's a great opportunity to be able to connect with other people. And I did that when I first got in the Marine Corps at my job school. Me and one of my friends, we would find the person sitting by themselves and we would just go sit with them. Like nobody should have to be alone. You have to find your people. And what a cool way to have found your people where you said, I ate with my counselor, then eventually there was some other kids and you found your group and you knew that you didn't have to change who you were to mold in with this other group. You just had to find your people. And I think that for our youth, that is such an important message because a lot of times I call it kid probs, right? Because our kids or anyone younger than us haven't gone through the same life experiences as us. So to them, whatever's going on, that is their world. That's the biggest hurdle or barrier that they've come across. Like I remember coming home like I don't have any friends and crying, and my mom's like, "Really? Like this is what you're crying about? Like come on now." But just kind of validating that and understanding and trying to remind them like, "Hey, there's going to be people out there because now look at this big world. You're able to compete in these two different pageant systems. I bet you have met so many amazing women doing amazing things and just really found even more pockets and groups of people that you love to be around with, right?"
Yeah, I have. And as I was crowned with the other three queens, we built such a strong bond already. We just love always sharing everything with each other, even like the little details. Like one of our sister queens, her daughter's getting married, so she'll share little details about that. So it's just fun getting to know not just the pageantry side of each other, but our personal lives and the deep meanings of each other. So I think that it's something that we really get to cherish.
That is one thing I can definitely vouch for. I think I'll have officially met all of you who are part of the Queen of the World system for this current year, and I can tell that in each of my conversations with you and how you speak of each other that you've just built this beautiful, amazing bond, and you're really supporting each other, and I think that is so amazing. And I hope that our listeners are encouraged to find your group of people seek out these different opportunities. I know I thought I was too old and I thought you couldn't be married to be in pageants. So I jumped in recently and I think it's beautiful and amazing. Is this something that you see yourself continuing on in a pageant journey and still being able to advocate and support that and compete?
I definitely do. I feel like I want to build more of a sisterhood, not just with these queens, but with other queens, because I feel like meeting other like like-minded women is empowering. Like I said, empower yourself and empower others.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Well, I know we've talked about a lot of really great, amazing things, and I'm looking forward to being able to follow your journey and all the things that you accomplish. And Athena's Angels is so, so, so sweet. I can't wait to follow there and learn more about you. Is there anything else that you feel like we haven't covered that might be important, or maybe some final thoughts you might want to leave with our listeners?
I feel like I just want our listeners to know, be yourself and embrace your authentic self, because if you don't accept who you are, then other people won't. Like I said, I am really big on that because a lot of people sometimes they think it's the wrong thing to do. They think it's wrong to take care of themselves. And sometimes they feel embarrassed, but don't feel embarrassed because what you like is what you like. And you are yourself. You're not anybody else. And you should make yourself happy. And that's all that matters.
That's beautiful. And I'm sure you probably get this a lot and it might be annoying, but at such a young age, and I say that from a place of there's so many life lessons that I wish I would have learned and embraced at a younger age that it's taken me a lot longer to learn in my life. So I love the light that you're shining, and I hope that more people are able to support you and join you in your cause of changing all these lives, both in our youth and our aging population. It's such a beautiful connection. And I'm so grateful for your time and you coming on and sharing your story. And I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me. It was such an exciting time.
Thank you, listeners, for tuning in. If you found this episode inspiring, please share it with someone you never know who needs more light in their life. May this serve as a reminder that there's always darkness in the world. Do not let it consume you. Always seek the light. Please take a moment to do the good old subscribe, rate, and review. Your support means so much to me and it helps me spread more light and love. Until next time, be kind, be loving, be human, and don't ever let anyone steal your hope.